friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with y'all the softest, fuzziest low plants that I have in my collection. I've actually got quite a few, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you because who doesn't love a bit of like little soft fuzzy texture? I mean, I know I do. I like to stroke my plant's leaves as often as I possibly can. And so these ones are some of my favorite go-tos when I'm looking for something fuzzy and soft. Before we get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanting content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanting journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel if you're not new here. Welcome back. I really appreciate it. Let's get into these fuzzy plants. So, the first one that I have actually spoken about quite recently is this one. So this might not look fuzzy from the outside. It kind of looks like a crusty Hoya, crusty dusty reptilian Hoya. This is a Hoya globulosa Welsh Mountain Zoo. It is a long name. I think it is called that because it was actually cultivated in Wales at a mountain zoo. Pretty crazy, but it is so fuzzy soft. The tops of the leaves, they are a little bit more waxy and they've got less hair on them, but the bottoms of these leaves are the softest thing. They feel like lamb's ears. And I love it. And also, when they're coming out, you know how Hoya leaves, when they come out, they're like really itty bitty, and then they like size up quite a lot? When this leaf was just coming out, it was so cute, fuzzy, soft, and like tiny, and like the hairs proportional to the leaves were like really long, so it looked even fuzzier. I'll insert a couple pictures in here. And it was just so fun to watch this one grow out and become this big, beautiful leaf. Like, you can kind of see the waxiness in that shine. It's very shiny, but the underside, you don't get any of that shine, and it is so soft. It feels like almost like velvet, but you know in velvet you can only stroke it one way, this you can stroke all the ways, which is even cooler. So really excited about this one. I got this one as a propagation from Claire, and I've been growing it just fine for quite a while. It's got some new growth in there too, some more tiny new leaves that I get to enjoy very soon. But yeah, it's doing really well for me, and I really like it. It's a cool one. I highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. I don't know if it's available in the States, if it's cultivated there at all, because it's obviously Welsh, which is much closer to England than the States. It's in the United Kingdom, so I don't know if that is something that you can get elsewhere, but if you're in the UK, try and get your hands on one, and you can enjoy the softness as well. So, next up, let's do this one. So this guy here, this is a Calancho, oh gosh, I can never pronounce this, Beharensis, that's what it is. And it is a succulent type plant. It's a Calancho. You're probably used to seeing Calanchos in grocery stores looking like this. You can buy them pretty much anywhere, but this is a kind of cousin of those, and it grows these really weird and wonderful kind of spiky looking leaves, but they are the softest things. They're covered in these like tiny little hairs that make them so soft, and it's aptly named felt bush because it's felty and bushy. But I got this one from a huge leaf propagation. I swear the leaf I had was like this big, so they can grow massive. One day, I hope I can get this one to grow massive. It's still quite small, but I grew this from a leaf cutting, and because it's a succulent, it was happy to like grow new bits from that. And then eventually the old leaf cutting died off, and this is what I've been left with. Hopefully I can get it to grow as big as that mother leaf cutting was, because it was so big and beautiful. Oh my goodness, could you imagine a giant one of these soft bushes? I can, and I want it. It's a really cool one, and it's grown surprisingly well for me. I was not expecting to do well for this. I'm not the best at succulents in general. I'm better with cacti even, but so far so good with this one. It's gotten decent amount of light. It was not in my cacti and succulent cabinet, but next to it for quite a long time, so getting the grow light from being really near it but not in it, and I think it really liked that. Since then I have moved things around and it's not quite as close, but I've got it under a grow light most of the day, I believe, and I think it's liking that. I could potentially move it into the cacti and succulent cabinet, but I don't know, for some reason I really don't feel like that's the right choice for this one, so I don't think I'm gonna. But anyways, it's a really cool one. Highly recommend if you want a little felt bush. Next up, we actually have two peperomia, and they're very similar looking, but they are quite different. So this first one is a Peperomia Inana, and I grew this one from a single leaf cutting, and it is doing pretty well, but it is quite a rigid peperomia, quite a thick leaf. Even these small ones aren't very bendy, and when they're smaller, they're not quite as fuzzy, but this big leaf that I have, you can really see the hairs in there, and it is so soft. It kind of feels like suede, this one, and it's fine. I'm probably not growing it to the best of its abilities. I am still learning with peperomia, especially ones outside of like the kind of caparata, albavata ones, the like Peperomia Frost. I'm still working on the ones that are a bit more different, and this one is not an exception to that. It's growing, like I've got new leaves, but they're obviously not the best. Maybe I need to put it in a slightly brighter spot. But this one is the Inana. Similar to the Inana, but not the same. They look very similar. Is the Peperomia Hoveria. And this one, it's got that similar feel, but the leaves are much more pliable. They are much softer, and obviously the tops of this one is not doing hot at all. I don't know exactly why. I think maybe sulfur treatment sunburn on this one. Unfortunately, that is my bad. So I'm working on trying to get this one to grow out a little bit and not look so crappy. But either way, these leaves, I kind of feel like these are softer and nicer than the Inana. I think I like that little bit of pliance in them. It makes them feel more like a lamb's ear or like a cat ear or something that's just like really soft and like you can kind of wobble it around a little bit. I don't know. That sounds really weird, but it's really soft and I like it. So yeah, I'm really hoping that I can get these two to grow better soon. Maybe I need to do a bit of like pruning on them in hopes that it helps bring out some better growth on them. I think I probably need to put them in a brighter spot. Obviously not continue treating them with sulfur and then putting them under grow light. That should probably not happen again, but I think I can get it. It might just take a little bit with these ones, but some fun fuzzy little peperomias there. Another Hoya I've got, which is slightly less soft, but definitely not less furry, is this one here. This is a Hoya Tomsoney, and it does have a little bit of sulfur spots on it. I tried to wash them off as best I could, but it's also dappled with silver variegation in there. And that's one of the things that drew me to it. I really love, you know I love a splashy Hoya, but this one is splashy and fuzzy, which I didn't even know was a potential combination. But like, look at the little hairs on there, and the backs of the leaves as well. Incredibly hairy, like so hairy that they're like picking stuff up, kind of like Velcro. They're like holding on to bits of soil and sulfur and stuff, because I'm treating everything, you'll know that. Yeah, just such a cool one. Like I said, not as soft, but still very furry. It feels still animal-esque in its sensation, but not quite as soft as like a lamb's ear or cat ear or whatever. What can I liken it to? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know what I can liken it to, but it is still soft. But this one, the hair is very directional, so you can only pet it in one direction and it feels soft. So it is a really cool one. It's also one of the darkest ones of the soft plants I have. I don't have very many furry, fuzzy, like dark leafed plants. I don't know if that's common or not, but I feel like they tend to come in this more like silvery sort of blue green as opposed to the dark green. But I don't know, I only just realized that now. So it's a fun dark fuzzy one, which I'm really enjoying. This one is fuzzy, but like kind of in a different way. This is a pickle plant. I don't remember the full name off the top of my head. I'll put it on the screen. But it has these little blobs, and each of them has kind of almost plastic feeling spikes. So you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of back in, I'd say like middle school, like maybe 2008, 2009. Do you remember those, like you get pens and earrings and stuff that were like round with like plastic spikes on them? That is what this reminds me of in its sort of spikiness, because they're not sharp, they're very pliable, and they're like, it's fuzzy, but it's not soft fuzzy, it's more like squishy fuzzy, and it is really enjoyable to pet. I feel like I could just stroke this one all day. This one lives in my cacti and succulent cabinet, so I don't tend to stroke it all that often. I actually haven't stroked it in a while, but now that I'm here, I just want to like squidge it all day long. It's a very fun sensory experience, different to that of all of these other fuzzy ones. And like some might argue that this doesn't count as fuzzy, but I think it counts as fuzzy furry, and I just really like it and it feels really cool. But this one, I'm not growing it to its fullest, I don't think. I think I probably do need to water this one a little bit more often than I water some of my other cacti and succulents. But I've had it for over a year and it's still kicking. So it's not just rotted all the way down yet or wilted fully. So I'm not giving it its ideal life, but I'm giving it enough to survive, which I'm not mad at. And it's still pushing out new growth. Like there's still new bits of new growth in there. Like those little things there. Those are new, right? So cute and ditty. Oh, I love it. We have another Hoya next. This one is a lot more of a common Hoya. This is the Hoya Linearis. And oh my god, he's just covering his face right now. Excuse me, give him a side ponytail. But this one has kind of like needle-like leaves, but each of them is fuzzy and soft. And so you don't necessarily like see it until you're looking really close on this one that it is fuzzy, but it is just so nice, and you can kind of just stroke down the whole thing and enjoy the softness to it. I am working on growing this one. I have grown this one entirely from cuttings that I've got, so it is a work in progress, and it has grown quite long. It's desperately in need of a chop and put these back in the top kind of situation, because I do want to grow it bushier. This is one of the plants on my 2024 goals list of plants to grow bigger, fill out, etc. It's also looking a little bit bald on the top here. I think just because it's in a high up spot, and so this top is not getting actually any light itself, and it's desperately in need of some water. So I'm gonna water that directly after this video and probably chop and prop it very soon, because I could just chop this to the end of kind of where the bulk of the plant is and put these back in the top, and I think they would actually match up quite perfectly to the length. And chopping and propping Hoyas is a really great way to get them to bush out a little bit and branch. They do like to be regularly pruned in order to grow to their fullest, so I need to do that. It's on my to-do list. It's just not top priority at the very moment, but I will put it higher up on the list and hopefully get that done very soon. But the Hoya Linearis, this beautiful soft one. And then last, y'all were, maybe some of you were expecting it, but when a lot of you see this one, you will not expect me to say that it is soft. It is a cactus. A cactus. And when I first saw this one, I thought, no way in hell this is soft. But it is incredibly soft. This is a monkey tail cactus. It is an epiphytic cactus. And these spines are actually not sharp, on mine at least. I think there's two varieties of the monkey tail. I've got the white variety, and I think the yellow one might be slightly sharper. But you can just go through and stroke downwards, and like even upwards it doesn't really poke you, but stroke down the tail-like shapes of these beautiful cacti bits and enjoy the softness. This literally feels how I would imagine a monkey tail feels if I were to go up to a monkey and stroke it. Given I have not had that opportunity in real life, maybe one day I can do so and compare, but for now all I have to go off of is stroking this beautiful little thing and really enjoying it. Also, the newer growth on it is so much softer. The older stuff, it feels a little bit rougher. The new growth genuinely feels incredibly soft. I love it. I was really wary about the jungle cactus in general to start, especially the monkey tail cactus. I did not like it the first time I saw it, but it has slowly grown on me and I have really come to enjoy the texture of it. I still don't think Joe likes it. I think it reminds him of like tarantulas. Yes, it's very tarantula vibes in addition to monkey tail vibes. I understand it. He doesn't necessarily like it, but I think it's really cool and I really enjoy it, so doesn't matter what he thinks, it's my plant. So yeah, that is my monkey tail cactus, another one of my fuzzy soft plants, and actually the last one on my list. So that is it. Those are all the really soft fuzzy plants in my collection. If you want to see any other sort of textural plant videos, let me know. I think I've done a velvety one in the past, years and years ago, might I add. It's been a while and my collection has changed a lot since then, so maybe I need to do a more updated velvety plants in my collection video. But for now, we've got these two. If you want to see any other textures, let me know and I can make that happen. Maybe like bumpy plants, spiky, but like not cacti spiky. Hairy, but not soft. That's a shout. Oh, okay. I'm getting ideas now, but let me know if there's any sort of other textures you want me to talk about in the future and share the plants I have of those. I can make that happen for y'all. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to keep growing. I will see you in the next one. Bye!